Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's continuing coverage of the Electronic Triple 2014. My name is Daniel Dwyer, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sega of America's very own Stephen Frost.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, good to see you.
Good to see you, thank you.
You're here to show off the first of 2 demos from the Sonic Boom franchise. This one coming out on the
November.
Wii U.
Yep,
Yeah.
November on Wii U. What we're looking at is the Wii U version. We're really excited about the Sonic Boom initiative. It goes beyond games, so what's great about Sonic Boom, it's a branch off of the traditional Sonic that you've been used to all these years. It's been around for 20 odd years.
It's been a bunch of Sonic games.
There have been, and so what we're trying to do now is really connect these aspects that we've had Sonic in before. So the licensing, such as the toys. We've got a CG cartoon that we're building on. And then we have this game here, what you're seeing is the Wii U. And we're building this whole sort of synergistic, unified world around them. So for the first time, you know, the voice actors in the cartoon are the same as the voice actors in the games. The world that you're exploring in the Wii U is the same that your world you're exploring in the 3DS and in the animation.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. What you're sort of seeing here, and what separates this game from some of the past Sonic games, is a focus on co-op. So not only is this game a return to the action-adventure genre, but it's built around the co-op experience. So at minimum, you always have at least 2 characters with you.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that 2 players can play as them. One person can use the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad. The other person can use any other controller, whether it's Wii or Wii U controller. So one person is playing on the TV, one person is playing on the gamepad. And the levels are structured around the unique sort of character abilities of these guys. So we have Tails, Amy, Sonic, and Knuckles for the Wii U version. In this case, what you're seeing is Amy and Sonic. And they're using, what Sonic just used was this new ability called the Enter Beam. This is the first time for Sonic. It's sort of this energy lasso or bungee cord, if you will. And it allows him to interact with enemies, the world, and puzzles in unique and interesting ways. So in the case before in combat, for example, you could use the Enter Beam and pick up enemies and throw them. In this case, of course, it's pure Sonic running away from a giant enemy, right? You see something like that, this Guardian who's protecting his crystal, you just want to get away from him. And so it was really about the pacing. We don't, we don't want to alienate, obviously, Sonic fans.
Yeah.
Even though we're changing this formula a bit, we want to make sure that the speed sections are there and we have enough of them. And also the iconic things such as bounce pads and boost gates. That's all in this game. But what we want to do is sort of like slow down and smell the roses, right?
Yeah.
You know, as you're whizzing by a lot of these environments in past Sonic games, you're missing a lot of cool stuff, right? You want to slow down, you want to look at it. So now here you are, you have the ability to look at that. So this is a facility that's underneath the ocean, actually. You're actually underneath the ocean. And what it is an ancient race that's been in this world before. There was a great war, and they're called the Ancients. And it's this classic motif that you've seen in past Sonic games, which is nature versus technology.
Yeah.
And so Sonic, of course, represents nature. And we got this new villain called Lyric, who's a giant snake built in armor, and he's representing the love of technology. What this plant does is it filters out all the junk and stuff that the war in the past caused on this planet. So all the muck and the gunk that was in the oceans, this plant is basically filtering it out and restoring it to normal.
We could use that stuff right now.
I agree. I think we could use that. And so in the case of what the basic premise is that Lyric, having been freed, he's been in prison for over 1,000 years. He's freed, and he's continuing his mission of trying to find these power crystals that will power his enemy army. And Sonic, of course, being the teammates and lovable hero that he is saying, you know what? We have to go off. We got to get these crystals before Lyric. And one of them is powering this facility here.
It seems like, obviously, like the Sonic franchise has been around for a long time. There's been a lot of reboots, a lot of different angles it's been taken. It seems like, for better or for worse, you guys are definitely leaning into the, you know what, new Sonic for a new generation. Like, a lot of people are quite, would say that there hasn't been a good Sonic game in a while. What you guys tend to be doing, and to be honest, I actually kind of agree with it, is that you are maybe de-shackling yourselves from the responsibility of what Sonic fans have said they have wanted for a long time and are just making it for the new generation of kids and make a game for them and just forget about the
For sure. I mean, as you see in a lot of games that I'm sure you've seen demoed here, is this focus on the living room experience. It's that family experience, right? Which is why our partnership with Nintendo is so key, right? The Wii U being sort of that family-friendly console, the 3DS being that family-friendly handheld. We really want to capture that sense of 2 people, whether it's the parents and the kids or siblings together, exploring this world together, finding cool things. And what's neat about it, as what you see right here, is Amy, because of her ability to platform and go on these beams, she can go this way, but Sonic cannot. Sonic has a completely separate path to go on. So as a single player, you have to make these choices. Do I want to switch to Amy? Because you can switch these between these characters on the fly.
Can you pick which characters are with you at the start of a level?
No, you can't. It's sort of predetermined based off of where the story structure is, right? So in most levels, it's 2 characters at a time. However, during speed sections, bosses, and the hub areas, all 4 characters are there, and you can switch between them. So Amy is here. She's doing her bit of platforming stuff. She's very agile. She has a triple jump that the other characters don't. So she's all about finesse. And Sonic, on the other hand, of course, is about speed. If you were playing as him, you'd be on the other side of this facility, and you'd be doing Sonic's of doing his homing attack and doing speed-oriented gameplay on the other side. So hopefully, as a single-player experience, you'll want to go back, play this again, take the other route, and find all the collectibles and hidden objects. As a 2-player experience, you can go through and talk to each other like, oh my gosh, have you seen what I'm seeing? This is a cool part of this section. And I was like, no, I'm over here doing this stuff. And so that sense of wonder, that sense of exploration is very key, as is sort of the pacing of the game. So we really think about the pacing. We want to have sort of action and combat, and then we want to slow it down and let you explore and do things a little bit slower. And then we pick it right back up with something frenetic and speed-based. So
is it fair to say that, just from what we're seeing here, is it fair to say that this isn't perhaps the most challenging game? Are you aiming for like a sort of younger audience?
It is challenging from the standpoint that there's a lot of moves for these characters, right? There's a whole arsenal of combat moves. There's the enter beam. So from that perspective, for sure. But we want to make sure in this game that everyone can really finish it. So we're working on things like a dynamic sort of difficulty where it doesn't scale up and make it difficult. It's more so for kids who are having a point where they're having frustrations or they're having difficulty, and it sort of tailors it down a little bit, and then it brings it right back up again. Because the story is sort of a great story, we want to make sure that everyone sees everything in this game. We don't want to be that sort of statistic where, 10% of people finish it, right? We really want to make sure you see this whole adventure because it's really great. And so we want to tailor it where it's challenging, but very fair. There's no situations where you have that punishing drop to your death. There's always an ulterior. So even in speed sections, if you miss something, you'll land in a section that slows you down, but you can get back up again and continue on your speed route. So a lot of thought was put into that stuff like that.
So in terms of the cartoon itself, I think it's kind of, you need to talk about that when you're talking about this, because they do seem to be inexorably tied together. This is launching in November, is that correct?
That's correct.
Whenabouts is the show going up, and in terms of like your story stuff, how much are they interweaving? Is this before, after, or is it the same time?
So for sure. So the games, both the Wii U and the 3DS, which you'll see in a little bit, are sort of prequels to the animation.
Okay.
And what it is it sort of follows the progression and growth of these team members. So Sonic right now, at the start of this game, is very much still the loner. He likes to run off. He doesn't think too much about the future. And through the growth in his game and in being exposed to the events that happen where he's putting his team members in danger, he comes to a realization that he needs to grow up. He needs the teammates. Like, he's stronger with a team. And so it's his growth as a character and this team together as friends that sort of sparks the start of the animation. And also not only that, but Eggman. So while Lyric is the main bad guy in this game, Eggman has an appearance
in it,
too.
all right.
Yep.
Eggman confirmed.
Yep, Eggman confirmed.
No Robotnik, but it's fine.
Eggman for sure. So, but he has a growth as well. So by viewing what Lyric has done and how the things that Lyric has needed to do in order to defeat Sonic, Eggman grows as a character as well and becomes more formidable, and that shapes how he ends up in the animation as well.
So this is coming out Wii U.
Yep, and 3DS both in November, and the cartoon will be hitting for that 2014-2015 season on Cartoon Network in the United States.
Awesome. I want to get a couple of quick questions in from our wonderful audience here.
Certainly.
And the GameSpot chat on Twitter. I have to ask this question. It's too funny. Robert has asked, has Capcom tried to sue you for using the name Sonic Boom?
Well, no, fortunately.
Sonic Kaboom!
Yeah, exactly. It'd be great if we had that ability in this game to throw the Guile's sort of attack there. But no, I mean, it's like, it's just representative, I think, of the Boom name is sort of the excitement, I think, that we have between this new initiative. We wanted something that encapsulates this new direction. And also, we already have had an event each year in the United States for fans called Sonic Boom.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's a known quantity then.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have that every year. We'll have another one this year, and we're going to build upon that. So Sonic Boom's been around with us for a while. We wanted to use it because I think it represents the new initiative well.
So presumably this CG, this TV series that's going on with it, whenabouts is that launching again?
It's going to launch it for the 2014-2015, so it's going to start this year, and it's going to be on Cartoon Network. We're really excited about it. Love the look. It's an all CG cartoon, which is the first time for Sonic. And again,
oh yeah, of course, yeah, it is. Yeah.
And again, the same voice actors who played in
same,
the.
Is it same voice actors from previous Sonic cartoons as well, or is this a new?
No, this is the new set. So this is the.
You guys seem to be pretty much wiping the slate clean on a lot of this.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I mean, we're keeping a lot of the consistent guys who have maintained, like the voice of Sonic hasn't changed the last few games, etc. So we're taking those guys, but we're giving a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more range in how they're doing their acting. These guys, we want to give them a little bit more flexibility in how they emote. I mean, you'll see that in how the banter back and forth in these guys. So we didn't want a situation in these games where you have cinematic, where it pushes the story, gameplay with nothing, and then cinematic. The banter and the communication between these guys goes across the level. So you'll see in this level that we're seeing now that Knuckles and Sonic are a little bit at odds with one another. Knuckles actually at the beginning threatens to basically punch Sonic because he's sort of tired.
He's got big hands.
Yeah, exactly. So we feel that's a really crucial dynamic, and sort of that banter back and forth really helps to establish the characters and really also helps to progress the story beyond just the cinematics that we have in there.
So who's inferring that? Who's the person who is choosing the direction of that narrative stuff? Is that coming from the team who are making the TV show, or are you guys kind of doing your own thing and then that's
again, it's sort of a very sort of united aspect. So we've always, from a long time, worked very closely with the animation team.
Yeah.
They came in, they saw a lot of stuff, the foundation that we were building for the game. They were really excited about it, and they helped to build upon that. So while we have writers in all the different teams who are working on this game, we really work closely with the animation writers to really make sure, again, that the way the characters are interacting, the way they're talking, the humor is very consistent across it. The last thing I want is like someone who's being introduced to Sonic for the first time, watching the cartoons, and then playing the game saying, whoa, this is very different.
Yeah.
It's very consistent, it's very smooth transition. You'll see just how the acting is and how the pacing is and how the interactions with the team are very consistent across all the mediums.
Cool. Stephen Frost, thank you so much.
Thank
Sega
you.
of America, thanks very much for coming up. It seems like I said earlier, the Sonic franchise has gone through some ups and downs over the while, but it seems like you guys are really, I don't know, I think it's probably a good thing to hit reset on a lot of this stuff and give it for a new audience.
Yeah, definitely. We're appreciative about that.
We're done with the Wii U version. We're going to go to the 3DS version in just a second, though. I think we're swapping out individuals as well. You gonna bounce out?
Yep.
Steven's only here for the Wii U. He just cares about that Wii U stuff. He don't mobile gaming.